want to give everybody just a second to jump on. This is very impromptu. I didn't give you guys any warning. I just sort of jumped on, thought we could do a quick little training here. So I've got my notes all right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if you are watching the live, say hey. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. I'm going to wait just a second until we see some people popping on. There we go. Hey, hey. Just say hey when you get on here. Again, or if you're watching the replay, just comment replay. You might have noticed that we have been doing like every Thursday, we would do our Zoom trainings. And I've tried to switch gears this year and decided to try something different. And because I know it's hard sometimes for people to get on our Zooms. So I was like, well, I want to try to just do some live videos, and that way you can watch it hopefully live, or you can watch the replay, and then I'll also upload it onto YouTube. That way it's easy for you to access at later times too. So that's what I'm going to try to start doing. I'm also going to try to start being more consistent with it and jumping on here and sharing more things with you. If you didn't know already, I do have some older trainings that is over on my Facebook or on my YouTube right now that you can watch. But I'm going to start adding these on here as well. So hey, I see people hopping on now. So we'll go ahead and get started. You know that I try not to keep you guys long. But this is a training and things that need to definitely be said. The sooner the better. I feel like we haven't talked about it probably as much as what we should have. But anyways, I see we got a couple on here. So just say hey, let me know that you're watching. I think I said all that. I've already went through that spiel once, but you guys wasn't on here yet. So now I've got people coming on. So say hey if you're watching the replay, comment replay, and we are going to talk about how your goals can change your business. And I want you to stay with me because this is going to be for newer consultants. This is also going to be for seasoned consultants. This is going to be for those of you that are in with Scentsy just as a hobby, or those of you who want to kind of make a career out of Scentsy. So this is all across the board. This is for all of you. And I have notes right here. You guys know I have to look at my notes. Otherwise, I will get all messed up. So I'm going to try to stick right here with my notes. But we're going to talk about, you all have heard us talk about your why. Like, why did you join Scentsy? You have to have a strong why to stay with Scentsy and to, make it through hard times. But I like to break things down simpler into smaller goals. And you guys know that. I like to simplify things. And so I want to talk about how we can break your why down into smaller goals, because you should have long-term goals and then you should also have short-term goals. So let's talk about simplifying things, because we are in a difficult season right now. We're going through a dip. Every business, they have their dips, and we are going into a dip, and your personal goals can help you get through those dips. So I want to get some interaction here. I want you guys to comment and let me know how long you've been a consultant. So just let me know when you joined or just how long you've been a consultant. Just share that in the comments, because those of you that joined around 2020 or before, so again, just go ahead and comment. Let me know how long you've been a consultant. For those of you who joined, like I said, around 2020 or before, you are going to notice that we are in a dip. Those of you that joined like after 2022 or something like that, you're probably going to have no idea what I'm talking about. You're not going to realize that we're in a dip, because this is just normal for you. You know how to work your business this way. This is just normal. So if you have joined after 2022, you're probably not even going to understand the dip. But those of you who went through hyper growth, you are going to tell that you're having to work your business differently these days. Those of you that was with us during the pandemic, Scentsy had huge hyper growth. Our group had huge hyper growth. The world kind of shut down. Everybody was at their house. People was on their phones, on their computers all the time. They was looking for extra money. We didn't even know how we was going to get money, but people was still spending like crazy. People was joining your team like crazy. People was coming to you to order. You would post one thing and people would be commenting like crazy. If you guys remember that, comment, share some hearts. I know some of you guys remember. I mean, the sales came easy. People was joining your team right and left, and we was like, what in the world is going on? It was crazy, but it was amazing. It was hyper growth. That is not normal, okay? It is not normal. So we was seeing this huge growth, and then now we've started going back down, and now we are having to figure out what the new normal is, because that was not normal. And some of you guys was, in your prime, we always like, wow, our business was booming during hyper growth. And now we're kind of like, okay, we've seen it kind of start dipping, and it hurts my soul. Like, it's hard. It's hard to see your business go from a high and then get low. So again, I'm going to kind of go back and forth to those who do know what the dip is, and those of you guys who are new that's not really experiencing it because you don't even know. This is just how you work your business, and it's nothing new to you. But again, those that went through the hyper growth, you're going to understand more of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be very vulnerable with you and transparent. I wrote down some numbers here just to kind of compare so that you can see what I'm talking about when I say hyper growth and how it changed and how it's changing and how it's becoming more normal. Like, we're kind of going down the hill, and we're going to have to try to figure out new ways to work our business. So back in February 2020, so this is like right before the pandemic hit, right before all the craziness, February of 2020, I was a director. I had 64 people on my team and a group wholesale volume of 10,300. So I was still holding director numbers. As a director, you have to have 10,000 group wholesale volume, if you did not know that. So February 2020, I had 64 people on my team, 10,000 group wholesale. 7 months later, 7 months is not long. Let me just say, from February 2020 on, my business went like at rocket pace. Like, it was crazy. September 2020, 7 months later, we went from having 64 people in my group to 368. We went from a group wholesale volume of 10,000 to a group wholesale volume of 142,000. That means in February of 2020, we sold $13,000 worth of Scentsy. And 7 months later in September, we was up to $190,000 worth of Scentsy. That's crazy. That is crazy high numbers. I mean, like, when I say hyper growth, I mean, we was all like, holy smokes, what's going on? High numbers, easy sales, all the things was happening. And now here we are today. I think we maxed out at about 600-ish. Was about the biggest our groups ever got, was about 600, which was amazing. And now here we are today. We are back at about 360. And there is some months that we are lucky to hit star director numbers, which is 30. Now, not often. We usually do a little bit better than that. But the point is we went from like 142,000 down to like 30 on some months. That is a huge, huge, huge drop. We've lost half of those team members. And then out of those 360, you might only have half of them that do anything because you're a consultant for 12 months, even if you don't do anything. So just being vulnerable and transparent with you, I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. You are not alone. Everybody in Scentsy is seeing a drastic drop as far as just as a whole, okay? But like, people started going back to work, right? The world started kind of opening back up, and things started feeling normal again, and people just kind of said peace, bye-bye to Scentsy, right? Totally happened. We all kind of know how that is. People went back to their job. They wasn't sitting on their phone anymore, or sitting at home all day. They was out and about, and things just started looking different. And they, again, just kind of said peace out to Scentsy. And so here we are. Here's the ones that stuck it through, you and me, and we're like, what is going on? Our team members are dropping like flies, like nobody has any motivation anymore. What is the deal, and what can I do with my business? Because if you have another job, it's really easy to quit Scentsy. Let's just be honest. You get most of your income from that other job. You stay busy with that. You got sports. You do all this. If you're going to give something up, it's really easy to give up Scentsy. And that's just how it is. But it's also really sad at the same time, because I see the potential that Scentsy has for other people sometimes more than what they see. And I know you see that in people too. You might see the potential, oh my gosh, but Scentsy could do this for you. Because at the end of the day, it's still extra income. It's still income on top of maybe your 9-to-5 job. It's still extra income that people could be getting. So let's talk just for a second. Even if you don't need the money, there's a lot of people, they don't join Scentsy for the money. They don't need the money, or maybe they don't need the discounted products. But I want you to still think of how you could benefit from Scentsy, okay? Because a goal that you want, that you can work toward every month, is going to help you stay with Scentsy even when the times get hard. So you have to personally have a goal for yourself. Not that I want, not that your sponsor wants, but a goal for you. Something that is going to drive you to push harder, to try harder, to keep you going when things get tough. So again, even if you don't need the money, think of some type of goal that you can work toward. And I want to give you guys some examples. First of all, I encourage even the hobbyist, even if you are here just as a hobbyist, to get 200 PRV a month. That's the minimum. And even as a hobbyist, I feel like that is something that you should strive for, because with 200 PRV a month, you're going to be active. You're going to get a minimum $50 check. That's if you're a certified consultant. You're going to get $20 in free Scentsy and 2 half-price items. So $50 extra a month, $20 free Scentsy, and 2 half-price items if you hit the bare minimum. So that's still $50 extra in your pocket, and that's still free Scentsy. So, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't turning down any free money. If you guys got on your PayPal right now or looked at your bank account and somebody dropped $50 in your bank account, even if you didn't need it, you still be like, wow, I got $50 more. Well, what can I go spend it on now? I mean, that's just how we are. You're still going to be excited about it. So it's still extra money, no matter how big or how small. So I want you to think $50 a month, or maybe it's $100 a month. Maybe it's $500 a month. Maybe it's thousands of dollars a month. Okay? What could that do for you? How could you use that money? What is a goal that you could set every month to use that money? And it can change every month. It's going to change every month. That's going to help you strive to do better and help you work towards something. Here's some examples, okay? Let's say your child wants to start sports. If you have your kids that's going to be doing any of these spring, summer sports, then comment below. Again, let's get some interaction going here. But if your kids are going to be doing any type of sports, and you have to pay those fees, or if you have to buy new cleats or a new baseball bat, all of these things, what if you didn't have the extra money to get that? And you was like, well, I'm going to work my Scentsy extra hard, because guess what? I'm going to be out $200 for my kid to sign up for baseball. Or maybe you've been wanting new shoes. There's a lot of people that has the money to buy stuff, but they're like, I just feel guilty. I'm not going to buy a $100 or $150 pair of shoes for myself. I'm just going to spend that on something else. $150 is crazy for shoes. I'm not going to do it. What if you was like, well, I really want those shoes, and I want to use my Scentsy money to get it. It ain't going to affect any of our family money. That's something I really want. Maybe you want a new bag. Maybe you're somebody that's into like these big Coach bags, whatever it might be. And you're like, I wouldn't buy it myself. I wouldn't use our family money for it. I want to use my Scentsy money. Maybe you're like me. I love massages. I love getting my nails done. That to me, I don't know, it's just me time, and I love it. Some people don't like it, but what if you was like, okay, every month I'm going to reward myself just to a 30-minute massage. That's going to be my present to myself. I know I'm not going to use my money on it, or maybe you just don't have the extra money for it, but this way you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for myself. Maybe a weekend trip. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, we've got to get out. I want to do something for me and my family. Money's kind of tight now. I'm not going to be able to do it with just my regular 9-to-5 or regular income. I want to take a 2-day trip to the beach, or I want to take a 2-day trip to Tennessee. I'm going to work my Scentsy extra hard because I'm going to make sure I can go next month. My Scentsy check is going to go towards that. Maybe your car's falling apart. You need a new car, but there's nowhere in your budget for you to afford a car payment. What if you was like, well, I only have to sell this much of Scentsy every month, and I'm easily going to be able to make that car payment. I can guarantee you're going to work your business extra hard if your car payment depends on it. If you have to sell this much Scentsy every month to pay your car payment, you're going to make sure it happens. That's just how it is. That's how our brain works. You're going to push harder for that. Let's say that maybe you don't need any of that. Maybe you already, and I see people hopping on. I really hope that you go back and watch this from the beginning. But just say, hey, when you get on here. Maybe you already have money. You don't need any of that. You're like, listen, I do what I want when I want. Kudos to you. That's awesome. But not everybody's like that. Most people's not like that. But let's say you are. Let's say that you're just like, well, it's never too early to start thinking of a savings account for my kid. I'm going to do Scentsy just on the side and start building up my kid's savings. Or maybe you just want to take a date night. Do you get the gist of what I'm saying? Little things that you can work toward every month. Like what you're doing this month in February. You're going to get paid on March the 9th for. What are you going to use that paycheck for? You have to have some type of goal to push you. Let's rewind. Last month, Scentsy as a whole, we was wrapping up our incentive period. We had people this close to earning a trip, a free trip. They could choose Mexico. They could choose New York. They could choose Quebec. They could choose a cruise. And guess what? Those people was like, a free trip? Oh, man, like, you have challenged me, and I'm going to put my head down, and I'm going to work my butt off because I'm getting a free trip. There was people that normally sold like $2,000 a month that sold $15,000 in a month. Why'd they do that? Because they wanted a free trip. They was like, I can do that. The point is you can do it. You just have to have a goal in mind. Why do you want to do it? Theirs was for that trip. Yours might be, like I said, for a weekend trip. Yours might be for a pair of shoes that you would never purchase on your own with your family money. You have to have something that you're working towards, and that can be a small goal. People might think it's funny if you was like, well, you know, I really would love to get a pedicure and a manicure done every month, but I'm never going to use my money on that. Like, I would feel bad. I don't do that. You know, I'm just going to spend my money on my kids. But what if you use your Scentsy money for that? Like, seriously, it's so crazy the things that you can do and the things that you want, that you strive for. And it doesn't matter what everybody else strives for, but what you would want and what's going to push you to try harder. You have, what is today? So we have like 4 more days of the month. I'm 100% telling you that you could get 500 PRV easily. Easily, I'm just telling you that. Before the end of the month, and you're going to get paid on that March the 9th. What would you use that money for? I would love to see if you guys can share some things in the comments. What's something that maybe you would never buy, but hey, you got some extra Scentsy money. What could you use that for? Or I have a friend, guess what? She's like, my Scentsy paycheck goes towards my car payment every month. That's pretty awesome. What if you could say that your house payment was paid for by Scentsy? Okay? It is extra income and it's buildable. There's no ceiling income. I personally know people, it's ridiculous to think about, that make easily, like even on a slow month, these people make $20,000 a month. And I know a lot of people's like, forget that. That's never going to be, I don't even care. For me, it like pushes me. I'm like, wow, if that's out there, there's people that make $50,000 a month selling Scentsy, which is crazy. But to me, it drives me. And I'm like, okay, I want to just keep raising my stakes. You know, I want to keep challenging myself to do better and better each month because I'm in control of my own business. I can't help what you all do, but I can help what I do. And for me, I continue to grow my sales. You know, even if you guys did nothing, I would make sure I sold enough to reach my short-term goals for that next month. So that I knew that I was getting this paycheck so that it could cover this. Okay, we're getting ready to get a pool in. So excited. We finally decided we're going to put a pool in. And I've already decided that my Scentsy paycheck, partial amount of my Scentsy paycheck is going to cover the electric bill because I know our electric bill is going to go up, and also our pool payment. Like, no matter what, it's at least going to cover that. Okay? That's a goal that I have that I'm going to work towards every month. I want to make sure my check's big enough to cover at least that. Okay? So let's see. Think of something you can work towards, something that's going to drive you to try harder each month, because you literally have extra money at your fingertips and you don't want to let it slip by. It's still extra money no matter how much it is, even if it's just an extra $50 a month. Again, like I said a minute ago, I don't know anybody that would be disappointed if they logged into their bank account and seen another $50 put in there right then. You would be like, well, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. I just got an extra $50. That's what we would be like, because we like eating out. And it's things as little as that. Maybe you guys can't go out eat out all the time. If you're like me in the summertime, it was warm the last 2 days, I wanted a milkshake every day. Okay, if you go through a drive-thru every day, that adds up. Maybe your Scentsy business is going to help you go through the drive-thru. Get your kids that ice cream or whatever they want. It's things like that you can work towards that's extra that you might not have got before if you wasn't doing Scentsy. Because let me tell you, people are still buying. They're still buying. Don't think that they're not. You just have to go about it in different ways. My personal sales continue to climb. My personal sales are more than what they was last year, than what they was the year before that. They continue to climb. And I'm challenging myself every month to continue to build that up. So people are still buying. Okay, you just have to work it differently than what you might have had to have done if you was still around here in hypergrowth. And it's because I have short and long-term goals that keep me going when times are tough. I wrote that down, as you guys can't tell. Again, I have notes going here. But back to those people that are noticing the dip. I just want to tell you guys, again, I have these notes. I listen to trainings. I love listening to trainings because it helps boost me up. You know, I get down to, and I love hearing from other people saying you're not alone. And so that's when I share with you. So if you are noticing this dip and you are noticing a difference in your team, maybe you had a team before, maybe you guys are not getting paid at title, maybe you have people dropping like flies and you are just frustrated, I want you to know that you are not the only one experiencing this. Everybody has people leaving. Many people are feeling unmotivated or maybe in a blah season because it's easier for people to quit when times get hard. But this is when you need to persevere through the hard times. Those of you that are leaders, think of this as a pruning season. Okay, people's going to leave, but you have to keep growing. We never stop growing. There will never be a time in this business that you're like, I've just got enough people on my team. I'm just going to be able to maintain this forever. I never need to quit growing. Like, no, you always keep growing. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a team, this is again just for you guys. You do not have to build a team. But if you are somebody who does want to build a team, it never stops because people quit left and right. You will have hobbyists quit. You will have leaders quit. There will be directors that quit. There's people that quit all the time. And it's something that you just have to get used to doing. What it's like a habit. You make a habit every month of getting new people on your team. That's just what we do. So you have to keep growing, and we never stop growing. So this is a saying that I heard before, and it has stuck with me, and I love it. I've wrote down a couple quotes here that I love, that I feel like is powerful, and I want you to think about too. So these again are those people who was leaders before, and it might not be hitting that same level that they was before. Maybe you're not getting paid at title again, or struggling. It just says those same people that helped you get to your promotion will not be the same people that keep you there. I'm going to say that one more time. The same people that helped you get to your promotion will not be the same people that keep you there. For example, for a superstar director, I have to have 4 directors under me. One of my directors hit numbers one time, never done anything. She's pretty much quit, does absolutely nothing. She went back to work. She's not going to keep me at my superstar director title. I have to find more directors. I have another one that just quit talking to everybody. Doesn't do anything with Cincy anymore. And she's not going to. So again, it's the same people that helped me get to my promotion, the same people that helped you get to your promotion is not the same people that's going to keep you there. That's why we always have to be growing. We always have to be growing new leaders. And this I thought was powerful. It said, you built your business before, you can build it again. So you built your business before, you can do it again. You did the work once, you can do it again. Are you continuing to sponsor? Are you continuing to replenish your team? Are you continuing to build leaders? Because when it gets hard, people want to quit. But I'm telling you right now, do not throw your business away. Do not give up just because you had a couple hard months or maybe a hard year. Okay? Because after a dip, we're going to start rising again. Okay? And you have to stick through it to see that growth again at the other side. Because again, it's always like that. Not just with Cincy, with every business, you have ups and downs. And if you quit when you're at the down, you're never going to see that next high. You're not going to be here for it. And if you think you can quit and then come back, you're pretty much going to be starting from scratch. You have to stay there. You have to stay there. You have to keep trying, and you do not give up. This is something else. This is something I've always remembered. I've heard it when I first joined Cincy, because the point is you're one person away. One person away. One person can change your entire business. You are one team member away from your business completely changing. Okay, one person away. One person can one person can join your team, and they can become a rock star. And when they become a rock star, guess what? You're going to reap some of those benefits too. Okay, you're one person away from your business changing, and you have no idea who that person's going to be. We don't know who that next person is going to be. So you have to keep trying. You have to keep sponsoring. Because guess what? You're going to get hobbyists, and we love hobbyists. That's fantastic. Get all the hobbyists, all the people that just want to do this for fun. But then in the mixed, eventually you're going to get one of those people that want it for the same reason that you do, and they can come around and they can change your business. So we never stop. We never stop growing, and we never stop sponsoring. So let's do a little recap again, okay? That last little part was more for leaders, maybe people who's been around here a little bit more, but I don't want you guys to think that this is a training just for leaders or just for somebody who's been around here for a while. This, again, is for somebody who's here just for fun, just for a hobby. If you're here, if you're a Cincy consultant right now, you have extra money at your fingertips, no matter how much it is, whether it's $50 a month, whether it's $2,000 a month. What can you work toward? You need to set not only large-term goals, but small-term goals. You need to say, okay, my March paycheck's going to go towards this, so I better hustle hard in the month of February to make sure that I reach that goal so that I can do this, whatever your goal is. And every month it's going to change. Maybe in May, you're going to be like, I better work hard in May because we're going on vacation in June. I want some extra spending money for when I'm at the beach, right? So you're going to push extra hard in the month of May so that you can get a really big paycheck so that when you go to the beach, you're going to have that extra income. Does that make sense? What I'm saying, you have to have something that you're working towards. I can't tell you what it is. Your sponsor can't tell you what it is. You have to think hard. What is something maybe you've always wanted that you would have never purchased if you didn't have this extra opportunity, this extra income? Or maybe you just don't have the money to buy it and your kid really needs something. Or maybe just the price of gas just kills you, or just bills in general, and any extra money helps you. Maybe you're like, I just need $50 extra to cover my water bill this month. Whatever it might be, set a goal in your mind and say, okay, I'm going to reach this. And how are you going to reach that? That's when we go to those daily PRV goals. If you're like, okay, I need this much money. This is what I want my paycheck to be. So that means I need to sell this much PRV this month. So if I need to sell this much PRV, that means I'm going to break it down, divide it by 30, and I need to sell this much PRV every day. That's why I tell you guys, simplify it. If you break your goals down like that, and you push yourself every day to get orders to match that PRV goal, then you're going to match your monthly goal. And then in return, that's going to get you your small term goal of that paycheck goal, whatever it might be. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And again, let's see if I had anything else. Yeah. Daily PRV goals is going to help you reach that monthly goal. Keep those short-term goals. Think of something that you could really use this extra income for. Because you have to set the goal yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. I can tell you all day long, yeah, but you could get an extra $100 a month. But if you have no idea what you're going to spend that $100 on, you're not driven to push yourself harder when times get hard. What if I told you, we have 4 days left in this month. What if I said, if you sold $1,000 in the next 4 days, I'm going to give you a trip to the beach? Clearly I'm not. If I told you that, if I was like, you're going to get a 4-day trip to the beach for your family of 4 if you can sell $1,000 in 4 days, you'd be all over it. You'd be like, heck yeah, I want to get a free trip. I want to make sure I sell that $1,000. And that's the point. You would make sure you did it because you know you could. You would try harder. And that's why you have to set these goals to work towards something so that you'll try harder. Anyways, that was my little spiel for today. I hope to jump on here and do a whole lot more trainings, a whole lot more get on here a whole lot more. I'm going to share this on YouTube as well. That way it will, because I think these delete after so many days off Facebook anymore. But I'm going to add this to YouTube. Again, if you are just watching this, then just say, hey, comment, replay, and then tag your teamies in this so that they can watch it too. And I hope this helped. I hope it made a little bit of sense, because sometimes it's like, wow, duh, I knew that. Why didn't I think to do something like that? So I hope this made sense to you and maybe helped you maybe look back and be like, okay, I want to start making goals. You know, can't be too hard. I'm going to start doing that. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a good end of the month. We have 4 more days left of this month. Whatever you do in these next 4 days, you'll get rewarded for on March the 9th. But anyways, see you guys.